and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Joy. How are you today?
I'm good.
You good?
Glad to be back.
Welcome back,
I'm
Joy.
surprised you
Thank
came
you.
back.
Missed you.
But you gonna have you a 5-day weekend.
No. It's Friday before the Super Bowl. We're going to be here. We got to do it.
So, I have a quick announcement to make. I have never been more intrigued by or excited for a Super Bowl than this one, and I've done a bunch of Super Bowls.
I don't know, Skip. Have you? I haven't noticed the buzz.
I
that
have.
Have you?
Because everybody wants them Eagles to pull it off, put them Patriots away.
True.
Yeah.
True. That is true.
Well, let's get started. Drew Brees, Patrick Peterson, and Mike Martz are coming up on the show, but we're just 2 days away from the Super Bowl. The Patriots are 4-point favorites heading into Sunday's game against the Eagles. New England also got some good news yesterday. Rob Gronkowski cleared concussion protocol and said he's, quote, ready to roll. The Patriots are looking for their 6th title in the last 17 years. So, Shannon, it's that time. Give me your official Super Bowl prediction.
I've gone back and forth with this so many times. I think top to bottom, the Eagles have the better football team. But at the two most important positions, head coach and quarterback, it's not even close. I always felt that Gronk was going to play, and then they got the good news yesterday that he had cleared concussion protocol and he was going to be able to play. And Coach Belichick having 2 weeks. Skip, we're going to talk about the 30 for 30 documentary last night, Bill versus Bill. And some of the game plans that he came up with only a week to prepare, really not even a week, because back then you flew directly from the championship game straight to the Super Bowl destination. So there's no week in between or the extra prep days. He'll have a game plan that's catered not to what the Eagles do really well. What does Nick Foles do really well? How do we take advantage of him? And that's what Coach Belichick, and listening to the documentary throughout, and how everything is just so specific. They called him Doom. I can see why. Skip, I expect a slow start because I think in these games like this, everybody wants to feel it out. You script your first 15, first 10, 20 plays. You don't do anything crazy. So no double reverses, no flea flickers. Doubt you're going to get bomb blitz from a defensive perspective where they bring everybody and vacate the middle of the field. I don't think you would see that, but Tom Brady has more Super Bowl games than every other player on the Eagles roster combined. Considering they were just at this game last year, that's a wealth of experience. Again, Gronk's coming back. I think they win on a late field goal. Eagles have the lead late. Brady drives them in field goal range. Stephen Gostkowski kicks a 42-yard field goal, 27-26 Pats.
27-26. Wow. This is really tearing you apart. I've never seen such anguish across the table. You were weighing it as you were speaking it, man. You almost went the other way.
I almost did, Skip. And I was talking to Healy last night. I said, right now, I'm leaning Pats.
By the way, Healy is our producer. Chris Healy. Yes.
I said, I'm leaning Pats, but let me sleep on it.
Yeah.
Because, man, and then you see Coach Belichick at the game last night. Coach Belichick doesn't normally venture out like this. So he feels really, he knows something that we don't know.
I agree. I was shocked. And it looked like he vacated at halftime or thereof because they showed an empty seat in the second half. But that was a little brazen, maybe.
So what's he saying, Skip?
I don't know. Do you think he's got this one in the bag?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I believe this is tearing you apart, Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer. By the way, we're going to talk about who gets in the Hall of Fame coming up pretty soon on the show. This is tearing you apart because you can't stand to think of Tom Brady winning a 6th Super Bowl and you having to come in here on Monday and give him credit, give him his due, to put him on an even loftier pedestal than he now resides upon. That's number one.
It's just sprinkles now. It's just like you got a big old cake. You just adding sprinkles. Stuff don't even need to be on the cake. You got sprinkles and you got cookies and you got Butterfingers and Reese's Pieces. All that's not unnecessary, Skip.
But if Nick Foles manages to pull off an Eli and beat Tom Brady, all of a sudden, your man Carson Wentz has got a big problem. He's got a problem called Philadelphia.
Right? A part of you wants that to happen. A part of you want dysfunction.
That would be fascinating to watch next year, wouldn't it? And I do think he would be in some trouble. I think that would be a hard call.
That ain't no hard call.
It's going to be a hard call. So I am with you on your first salvo, your opening sentence. You've wrestled with it. I have too. I picked New England before the season started, but I must admit, the harder as I looked at this game last night, that's why I said I'm so fascinated and intrigued by the matchup. Harder I looked at this game, the more I liked and feared Philadelphia. Because the Eagles, as you said, have a better overall football team than New England does. And let's start with the running game, shall we? Because New England against Saxonville had no running game. They won an AFC championship game, albeit at home, with 46 total rushing yards. When has that ever happened? And by the way, they had 28 total rushing yards until the last real play of the game when Deion Lewis got loose around the end for 18 yards to kill the clock and ice the game, right? So at that point, they had 28 rush yards. They also had Tom Brady, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But the Eagles can flat out run the ball thanks in large part to your ex-Miami Dolphin, Jay Ajayi. So let's go to the receivers. Come on, it's hands down Philly's receivers to me because Alshon and Aguilar and Torrey Smith, and then Zach Ertz. People are underestimating Zach Ertz. He is going to be a big problem for the New England defense. He led this team in catches and receiving yards, and he'll probably lead it in catches and receiving yards Sunday. So that's advantage Philly. And then better offensive line. How many times did you come in this year and say, Brady's getting hit more than he did last year? That's going to be a problem. That could take a year or two off his life. Did you not say that again?
They did, but Skip, if you noticed about the Patriots, even in the first half, Jacksonville got to him some. Tennessee put some pressure on him in the first half. But what makes them so dangerous and what makes them so great is their ability to adjust. And Coach Belichick, he always says, I want talented guys, but I want smart guys. Because the adjustments that you're making, Skip, you're not going to get an opportunity to go out there and practice it. It's got to be visualization, and you got to be able to draw it up on the chalkboard and ask your guys to go implement this the second half of the ball.
I still say Philly's line, even without that great left tackle, Jason Peters of theirs, I still say it's a better overall pass and run blocking line than Belichick.
Yeah, because they got Lane Johnson, who's an all-pro. They got a left guard that went to the Pro Bowl. Their center's all-pro.
So what sticks in my craw is that I keep seeing the flashes of the touchdown passes in my head. This team, albeit at home, destroyed the Minnesota Vikings 38-7 in the NFC Championship game. And Nick Foles, once again, in his third playoff game, looked a whole lot like Tom Brady to me. I'm serious. Well, what's not to like? Against the #1 ranked defense in football this year, the Minnesota Vikings, he went in the championship game 26 of 33 for 352, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions with the QBR scale 0 to 100 of 94. That's a big-time game against a big-time defense, right?
In the playoffs, that's unbelievable.
So in 3 playoff games, Nick Foles has completed 73 of 96. Think about that. 73 of 96 completions. That's 75%. And he should have won all 3 of his playoff starts because he played plenty well enough to win the first one against Drew Brees after the 2013 season. And they let a kick get run back to the 50. There was a horse collar, and then there was a late walk-off field goal by Drew Brees and company. But Nick Foles played very well. So in the 3 postseason games, he's got 5 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Career, he's got 66 touchdown passes to only 29 interceptions. Doesn't that sound pretty good to you?
Very good.
Nick Foles will not choke in this game. He will not turn into Nick Folds with a D on it because he's been here and done this before, and I just like his pulls. I just think this moment won't be too big for him. So I expect him to play pretty well. Maybe not great, but pretty well. Now let's get to the other side. What really scares me because the Eagles' defense is much better than the Patriots' defense. I'm sorry, it just is. I know the Patriots finally got in sync and in gear, and they were bending, but not breaking later in the year. But this rush, featuring a Fletcher Cox, who is a monster in the middle, is exactly what the doctor ordered to beat Tom Brady. How many times have we talked about it? Why did Brady lose at Denver in the AFC Championship game? Why did he lose to the Giants twice, especially the first time to the Giants? It's because they could collapse the pocket, knock him off his spot, get him to move, get him shook up, and knock him around. Well, it's the same formula for any quarterback, but Tom Brady is human, and he will fold under that kind of fire if you just keep after him the whole game, right? So, Brandon Graham, we had Keenan Allen Oh, you weren't here that day, Joy. Sat in your chair. He didn't look a lot like you, but he
did a great job.
What he did, and what did he bring to this table?
He's a game changer.
He said Brandon Graham is a game changer. Well, I don't ever think about that, but he said he's a game changer. He's a difference maker.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, Brandon Graham. Now look, he's got 9.5 sacks. Didn't make the Pro Bowl, but sounds like Keenan Allen thinks he should have been at the Pro Bowl. So they have a hellacious pass rush with Jim Schwartz's wide 9. That brings me to the Pro Football Focus that we did with the scouts, breaking down the talent, ranking the 106 players in this year's Super Bowl. And 14 of the top 20 were Eagles, and 10 of those 14 were on defense. And the shock of shocks to me was that the slot corner for the Philadelphia Eagles named Patrick Robinson, who caught my eye just because he picked six Case Keenum the other day, he's ranked 6th on that list of 106 players by Pro Football Focus. 6th, he's the slot corner. He hasn't started any of the playoff games, but he's had a big impact on them. And guess what? Danny Amendola, meet Patrick Robinson. That's what I'm going to assume, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Wouldn't he be all over him?
Yes.
And Patrick Robinson has bounced around this league. He was a late first-round draft pick of the Saints, and he's bounced around this like his 14. But Pro Football Focus says he's had a sensational year and ranks him 6th. Okay, well, that's big advantage Philadelphia because Danny Amendola is the wavelength. He's the connection for Tom Brady, right? That's the report. Okay, he's filling in. And not to mention kicking game, the Pro Football Focus, 106 players ranked. The long snapper for the Patriots was 106th and is a liability, and the punter is 104th, Ryan Allen, and I guess that would qualify as kind of a liability. And Gostkowski has not had a very good year, and he ranked 99th. So wouldn't that be advantage Eagles? Okay. So now we get to intangibles. I was going to bring up the Belichick. It scared me a little bit that he actually felt confident enough or brazen enough to show up at a basketball game on the Thursday night ahead of the Super Bowl. I don't know, but is it in the bag? Is it like you don't think the Eagles are going to have that brought up in their meeting?
I'm surely he's feeling comfortable because it's hard for me to believe that the Thursday night before a regular season game, Coach Belichick would have shown up even if the game is at home at a Celtics game. Now he maybe, but I don't believe that. But clearly, Skip, he feels comfortable. He feels his team is prepared. He feels his team will be ready to go play and implement the game plan on both sides of the football to give them the best chance of winning.
Okay. So, obviously, we've gone back and forth all week about Tom versus Time. Tom Brady's, as you call it, I Am the Greatest documentary, correct?
Yep.
And he dropped it on Super Bowl week. Yesterday, episode 4 dropped. And it scares me a little bit. You want to talk about brazen. You want to talk about arrogant. Here I am. This is how I do it. Come and get me. Right? Isn't that what he's announcing to the Philadelphia Eagles? And what really scared me was episode 3, in which he talked about his durability because of his new training methods. Alex Guerrero, pliability, has made him even more durable at age 40 than he ever was in his career. That's tempting fate, man. This is a dangerous game. I don't love it. I'm knocking on hard. Knocking hard. But I didn't love that. And then I read last night that no quarterback who led the league in passing yards has ever won a Super Bowl. And Tom Brady led the league in passing yards in 2007, and Eli and Tyree happened, right?
Yep.
So is that a little scary to me? Yeah, it is a little scary to me. And then you've got the Eagles. They're the underdogs, and they love it. So they're feeding on that. And now it looks like a Patriots staffer was photographed yesterday carrying what looked like a script for Tom Brady's acceptance speech for MVP. And I'm not going to be shocked if he wins MVP. But the Eagles are going to be like, oh. So it's almost like the Heisman winner has to go play a bowl game now, right? What happened to Matt Ryan last year? He won the MVP on Saturday night, and he kind of stunk it up on Sunday, wouldn't you say?
No, Skip. He played really well.
He only played well.
Yeah, Skip, he only missed 6
half?
throws.
Okay, but again, when the money was on the table, the other quarterback played far better.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he had the game won there, had an 8-point lead. He throws a 22-yard completion. If you don't get another yard, you guys are going to try to come on the field and kick a 42-yard field goal to put you up 11 and basically ice the ball game. He made a mistake. He knows he can't take a sack in that situation, Skip. You can't. You just can't.
Okay. So, all of that said, motivation on Eagles' side, maybe not strategy, but just X's and O's, the talent, it's all on Eagles' side. I wrestled, I slept on it, I woke up, and I still come down to this. I'm going to say it one more time. There's one man in sports I don't bet against, and it's number 12 for the New England Patriots. And all I know is that in 5 Super Bowls that he has won, he has conducted game-winning drives in all 5 of them. In the fourth quarter, game-winning drives. So wouldn't history scream at you that this game sets up perfectly for here we go again?
Yeah.
Because Tom Brady has won his 5 Super Bowls by total points of 3, 3, 3, 4, and then 6 in overtime last year. And in the 2 that he lost by 3 and 4. Okay? So, wouldn't you think this is going to just go to the wire in every game? Nail biter, barn burner, down to the wire, right?
All the games that they've played in is about 5 points differential, and all the rest of the games, Super Bowl games, is like 16. I'm talking about if you look at the games the Patriots were involved in.
Okay, but the Patriots wins, they've won by an average of 3.7 points, and all the other Super Bowls are 15, almost 16.
Almost 16, correct.
That's shocking to me.
It's unbelievable.
Okay, so I'm going to go with history, but I'm going to go lower scoring because I think this is going to be yet another grind for Tom Brady's offense. I think it's a really good defense playing at an extremely high level under Jim Schwartz. So I'm going much lower scoring than I see other people pick. I'm going to go Tom Brady 20 to Eagles 17, 20-17, which would be reminiscent of the first Super Bowl that Tom Brady won as a quote-unquote game manager. And it may feel like he's having to manage this game because I don't think it's going to be a lot of pitch and catch going on here.
Well, if it's a situation, if you're the New England Patriots and you need to win the game, you feel very comfortable if 12 is on the field. If you're the Eagles, if you need to win the game, you feel very comfortable if your defense is on the field.
I would agree with that.
So,
but I wouldn't feel uncomfortable with Nick Foles on the field. I just wouldn't feel like he's going to overcome Tom Brady.
Well, since this is since Carson has gone down, Wentz has gone down, they relied a lot more heavily on their defense, and their defense played well because Atlanta had 4 cracks goal to go. And they kept them out of the end zone.
They really did.
They gave up 7 points on the opening drive to Minnesota and nothing else the rest of the ball game.
Nothing else.
So we know what they represent. They can get after your quarterback. They don't allow you to run the football, which makes you one-dimensional. They make you throw the football when they want you to throw it. Now we can gear up because we know what you're going to do. We know what you have to do. So with that being said, Skip, it's just hard to bet against Tom Brady and Coach Belichick in these situations because far too many times we've seen them be successful when they're not coming. 10 points to Legion of Boom. Oh, we got 28 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Like, oh yeah, you got this. And then all of a sudden, Tom is like boom, boom, boom. The defense raise their level of play. They bow their backs. It's like, nope, nothing else. Get off the field. Tom is feeling it now. We need to get him right back on the field as soon as possible. He's in that rhythm. I'm going 27-26. I just think the Patriots do enough to win this ball game. Saying do it enough. I mean, and this ball game is the Super Bowl. But it's just hard to bet against Tom Brady and that monster, 6'7", 280 pounds. He's the most dominant player. That's not a quarterback that's on the field, regardless of offense or defense, regardless of position.
And I'm going to say this one more time. I am convinced they're even better, a little better without Gronkowski.
See, Skip, I can kill a bear with my bare hands, but I'd much rather have a gun from a distance.
Can you?
Yeah, I kill. I mean, no. I told my friends, if you see me and a bear in a fight, Joy, don't help me. I want you to pour honey on me and help the bear. It's illegal to kill a bear.
Oh.
So
but in self-defense.
No, that's what I want the honey on me for. Because if I don't got no honey on me, they say it wasn't no self-defense. See, if the honey, he attacked me, Joy. I want a honey suit, and I want him to stay there. Because I'm going to do something bad to that bear.
Well, Brady kills his bears with paper cuts. That's what he does.
And then, Joy, by the time, 20 years from now, Joy, the story will be in Super Bowl 52, Tom Brady played that game with one hand behind his back. Or whether he lost his thumb before the game.
George Taylor, did I bring up his lacerated hand? Who brought it up, George? I want to know, for the record, who brought that up?
Shannon has a tendency to bring that up, and then he works the Cowboys into every discussion somehow.
Oh, it'll be this hand. Tom Brady played one hand behind his back. Oh, he was perfect.
Really?
Did you see that last drive? He's a bing, bing, bing.
Huh.
Well, you're picking him, though.
So I want to know, bottom line, how hard is it going to be for Shannon Sharp to come back in here on Monday and sit in that chair one more time and acknowledge that Tom Brady is even greater than you ever thought that he was?
Skip, if I'm the first man on the moon, what else can I visit? Do I need to go to Pluto to let you know that I'm great? Do I need to go to Mars or where else do I need to go, Skip?
Tom Brady has discovered civilization in another galaxy.
No, he
That's
didn't.
where he is. He's gone somewhere else.
No.
You know?
Skip, he's great. He's all-time great.
Thank
He's
you. Keep going.
He's transcended like my guy up in Green Bay.
No, not like your guy. He's way beyond
He's
your guy.
transcended like my guy in Green Bay.
No.
It sounds like you just learned a lesson from last year.
I think you're eating some humble pie right now.
No. I mean, I really thought Atlanta had this game, and when they got out to that big lead, I was like, okay, just keep playing. But I'm a firm believer. It's a lot easier to come from behind and win as opposed to being ahead by a large margin. Because, Skip, you don't want to do anything crazy. You do get somewhat conservative because if you let them come back because you throw, it's like, well, why were you throwing? Well, that's what we did. In Atlanta's offense, they threw a lot. Now, I thought, you can't have the same amount of rushes in the second half up by 25 as the team down by 25 had. But
you got to let go.
No. Mr. Blank, who we going to talk about, he needs to let it go. I let it go once I left the stadium, and it was like 34-28. I'm like,
it's going to be interesting. It's not quite the David and Goliath matchup that everybody feels like it is, though.
I'm
when
not
you really
sure
look at the
which one.
Eagles,
I think Goliath is the Eagles. That's what I think.
they don't want to hear that. They want the underdog story.
It's not the 20. It's not 2007. The Patriots, and you like Giants.
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. Is this the year that Terrell Owens finally makes the Hall of Fame? We'll discuss that next.